Hello everyone, welcome to the MudRoom, our weekly live Uncommon Sense parenting class. How is everyone doing? I hope you and your family are well. We are in full Halloween prep mode now, as I'm sure you are, because it's next week. Fair warning, if you haven't gotten your child's costume yet, you'd best get on that. My kids are going as the Mario Brothers, which is the funniest thing I have ever seen. Like, I cannot get over it. I just burst into uncontrollable laughter every time I see them in their costumes. My youngest is going to be Mario and my oldest is going to be Luigi. And their sizes and constitutions just fit the characters so well. It's funny. So on that note, today we're going to be talking about how to prep our kids for their second COVID Halloween. Last year, we were still very much in the thick of it. And for the first time since I've lived in a house, I didn't actually have any kids show up at our door. For context, we usually get like anywhere between 100 and 250 kids on Halloween. And personally, we had planned like a Halloween candy hunt for our kids and our friends' kids who were in our bubble. But then their kids got sick, and so it was just kind of a crappy experience because our plans all got shot to hell. But this year, adults are vaccinated, kids are very used to masking now, we understand the virus better and how it is and is not transmitted. This year, more places are going to be able to pull off a COVID-friendly Halloween. That said, it is still going to be different than a normal Halloween. So I wanted to start you thinking about what that's going to look like for your family and your neighborhood this year so that you can start preparing your kids for it now. And hopefully that will give you a smooth, spooky evening. Before we get into it though, allow me to introduce myself for those of you who are new around here. My name is Alana Robinson and I'm a parenting coach for parents of toddlers, preschoolers, and kindergartners. I help parents understand why their children are misbehaving and how to fix it without yelling, shaming, or timeouts. I'm your host here on the MudRoom. I'm also the host of the Parenting Posse Facebook group, and I'm the creator of the Parentability program, where I help you raise well-behaved kids of your own. If you're watching, say hi, and I would love to know what your children are going for Halloween. The creativity and the diversity and the interests in our community just never cease to amaze me. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you never miss another class. All right, so let's get into it. I'm not going to focus on what your Halloween activities should or should not be here. We're a worldwide community, and what's safe and manageable for my family here in the middle of the Canadian bush, and what's safe and manageable for your family in New York or Toronto or Switzerland or Australia is obviously going to be very different. What I want to focus on is solidifying your plans, whatever those are, making a contingency plan, and communicating that plan to your children in a very clear way so that they understand it, they're on board with it, and there are no surprises or disappointments on Halloween night. So as I said, the first step is to decide what it is you're going to be doing. Are you going to a Halloween party with families in your bubble? Are you doing an outdoor candy hunt? Those of you who live in climates where you don't have to layer a snowsuit under your costume have that advantage and option. Are you going to be doing an indoor candy hunt? I know here we have a community candy hunt happening in an adjacent community where they're going to like decorate a community center hall and it's indoors, but everyone's going to be masked and screened before entering. Are you going back to the good old trick-or-treating door-to-door? What is Halloween going to look like for you this year? Figure it out. It's next week. It's time to solidify your plans. The next step, once you know what you're going to be doing, is to communicate those plans to your kids in a way that they can understand. Personally, I like to use narratives to explain these larger issues to my kids. Even though my oldest is almost 8 now, he still prefers having big information presented to him in the form of a story. The information with social stories is very easy for children to process because it helps them put themselves in that position mentally. And the important thing with social stories is to write them in that first person so that it facilitates that, not in the third person. So it's not like Emma and Juan are excited for Halloween. It's I'm excited for Halloween. Write it from their perspective, not from yours. And keep it very instruction manual-like. I'm excited for Halloween. I'm going to wear my butterfly costume to school on Friday. I'm going to have a class party at school. Halloween is actually on Sunday, and on Sunday I'm going to wear my princess costume to go trick-or-treating. While I'm trick-or-treating, I will hold mom or dad's hand while we're out walking. It will be dark, so I'm going to wear a glow stick around my neck to make sure cars can see me. I have to make sure I'm walking at the side of the road. When I go up to a door, I have to put on my mask and Dad will spray my hands with sanitizer. I can use my princess wand to knock on the door. When they answer the door, I have to say trick or treat really loud and hold out my bag. After they give me candy, I say thank you and then I go back to Dad, who will spray my hands again. Once we're away from the house, I can take my mask off. If nobody answers the door, I can count to 10 hippopotamuses and then go back to Dad, etc. Very simple, but very clear instructions. Write up whatever applies to you. Feel free to steal that wording if it fits. And then get some pictures to put with it. You can do that using Google Images or take actual pictures of your kids or even just draw stick figures. It doesn't have to be fancy. And then read them the story over the next week. This really helps to prep children for the expectations, and since they get the exact same instructions over and over and over, it's easier for them to remember. After you read it, you can ask if they have any questions and preempt anything that's unclear or any expectations that they won't have or that they won't get fulfilled, right? Any expectations that they have that aren't going to happen or that are going to be different this year. Next is to make a contingency plan. I failed in this last year because I was so confident in our ability to execute that I forgot that we literally don't want anyone with so much as a sniffle around us right now. And when our kids got sick, everything went to hell. It's October. Personally, I'm convinced that one of the reasons October became known as the month that demons come out is because it's actually when the viruses come out to play. Kids get sick in October, so plan for it. And again, communicate that plan in your social story. If I get sick, we're going to stay home and watch a scary movie and eat all the candy that we bought to hand out. Or whatever is going to actually happen for your family. Don't wait for it to happen before you set that expectation, because if you're planning to go trick-or-treating and then your kids start snotting and coughing on Sunday at noon, there's no fudging that. There's no, oh, she's only a little bit sick this year, y'all. Don't be that asshole. If your kid is sick, they have to stay home. So prepare them for that so that it's not a surprise and they know that even if they get sick, they're still going to get candy and get to celebrate Halloween, okay? It astounds me how few parents actually make a plan B at all for these big events. But believe me, as both a military wife who has had to rely on Plan B far more frequently than I ever expected, and as someone who had a decade-long career as an early interventionist and had to invoke Plan B multiple times when the fun activity turned out to be a massive stressor for the child I was working with, Plan Bs should not be made on the fly. Make them ahead of time so that you aren't scrambling. And then gather your supplies to execute these plans. Go buy your candy. Go get your pumpkins. Go get spray hand sanitizer. Go get masks that work with their costumes. I got a red and a green mask for my kids, and I got a fabric marker and I drew mustaches on them so that even with their mask on, they get to stay in character. Make sure you're inventoried and you know what available movies there are so that you don't spend an hour scrolling Netflix trying to find a movie that's spooky but not scary and gives them nightmares. My personal recommendation for that is the live-action Scooby-Doo's, by the way. Awesome. Get yourself organized, both so that there's no last-minute, oh my god, I forgot, and because then you get to enjoy Halloween too. These kids' events are stressful enough without rushing around like chickens with our heads cut off trying to find last minute supplies. So take the time this week and go get your shit together. I say that with all the love in my heart. If you're struggling to figure out what you can safely do for Halloween, or there's an obstacle that you can't seem to find a solution for, or whatever, come and let's chat about it in the Parenting Posse. We can help you brainstorm and troubleshoot so that you and your kiddos can enjoy the revelry and have a positive end to the month. The link for the Posse, if you aren't already a member, is in the description. And as I said, this community is just so creative and general out-of-the-box thinkers that I'm sure we can help you think up something unique and fun. And I love to see the pictures of your little ones on Halloween's too, so make sure that you find that thread and you come and post them, okay? Thank you so much for being here with me today. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week for another Uncommon Sense parenting class. Bye!